KGTV, San Diego's 10.
The news with Harold Green, Jack White, Hal Clement on sports, Mike Ambrose with the weather, and the award-winning Channel 10 News team.
The city continues to have its problems in contract negotiations with employee groups.
The news with Jack White, Bill Griffith on sports, Maglovio Perez with the weather, and the award-winning Channel 10 News team.
It was another record-breaking day weather-wise in all of Southern California. Temperatures in the inland areas climbed well over the 100-degree mark.
The news with Marty Levine and Susan Farrell, Mike Ambrose with the weather, Hal Clement on sports, Jack White live with the Instacam and the award-winning Channel 10 News team.
Good evening. Here's what's happening at 5. A man holding a hostage for more than 4 hours was shot and killed this afternoon on a San Diego freeway.
The news with Jack White, Bob Mills with the weather, Steve Day on sports, and the award-winning Channel 10 News team.
The United Nations Security Council has adjourned for the night without one single nation speaking out in favor of Iran.
The news with Mitch Duncan, Bob Mills weather, Mike Smith sports, Sky 10, the live Instacam, and the award-winning Channel 10 News team.
A southeast San Diego man was seriously burned tonight in an apartment fire.
Live from San Diego, this is the 10 News Weekend Report. The Royal Tour with Ed Linderman, Joe McMahon, Adrian Albert, Susan McBride, Leonard Villarreal, and the entire Channel 10 News team.
Now, 10 News, First Edition, with Michael Tuck, Ray Walker, and the entire 10 News team. Now, from 10 News, Carol LeBeau, Ray Walker, Michael Tuck's Perspective, Mike Ambrose with weather, and Mike Smith on sports. This is Nightcast.
Good evening at 11 o'clock on this Friday.
10 News, First Edition.
It's one of the biggest birthday parties ever planned.
Now, at 6:30, Michael Tuck, Carol LeBeau, Mike Ambrose with weather, Larry Sacknoff on sports. This is the 10 News Evening Edition.
Now, from San Diego's news leader, the city's most watched 11 o'clock news, with Carol LeBeau, Michael Tuck's Perspective, Captain Mike's weather, Larry Sacknoff on sports. Number 1 in San Diego, this is 10 News Nightcast.
KGTV San Diego. Now at 6 o'clock, Steve Fionia, Phoebe Chongchua, Elizabeth Howland's weather. The team that stands for San Diego 24 hours a day. This is 10 News Morning Edition. KGTV San Diego. Now at 5 o'clock, Stephen Clark, Carol LeBeau, Jack White on location, Captain Mike's weather, Mike Smith on sports. The team that stands for San Diego 24 hours a day. This is 10 News at 5. KGTV San Diego. Now at 11 o'clock, Kimberly Hunt, Carol LeBeau, Captain Mike's weather, Larry Sacknoff on sports. Tonight's Perspective. The team that stands for San Diego. This is 10 News Nightcast. KGTV San Diego. Now at 11 o'clock, Carol LeBeau, Kimberly Hunt, Michael Tuck's Perspective, Captain Mike's weather, Larry Sacknoff on sports. This is San Diego's news leader, 10 News Nightcast.
Home for the holidays. Good evening at 11 o'clock.
From the team that stands for San Diego, Jack White, Adrian Albert, This is 10 News Midday Edition.
A sailor has been critically wounded.
From the team that stands for San Diego, Adrian Alberts, Jack White. This is 10 News Midday Edition.
Good morning. The turf meets the surf today at Del Mar.
This is 10 News at 5.
The children are telling stories that will give you chills. Their version of things in the molestation trial of Dale Akiki.
Some think the medical profession should stand trial for highway robbery, a dose of reality on the cost of health care and some possible solutions. On this Thursday, May 20th.
From the team that stands for San Diego, Carol LeBeau, Stephen Clark, Mike Ambrose on weather, Bill Griffith with sports. This is 10 News at 5.
The children are telling horrible stories.
From the team that stands for San Diego, Carol LeBeau, Kimberly Hunt, Captain Mike on weather, Phil Farrar with sports. This is 10 News Nightcast.
South Bay residents are getting help fighting their unique problems.
At 11 o'clock, a new coalition is tackling some tough issues tonight.
News that hits home every day. This is 10 News Midday.
Welcome back to Midday.
The team you count on every day. This is 10 News Nightcast.
Well, he was more embarrassed than anything else.
From the team you count on every day. Tonight's final look at San Diego news with Kimberly Hunt, Carol LeBeau, Captain Mike's weather, Bill Griffith on sports. This is 10 News Nightcast. News that hits home every day. This is 10 News Nightcast.
Now, this is 10 News Midday.
Now, this is 10 News Live at 6:30.
From 10 News, San Diego's 10 2000.
All right, welcome back to San Diego's 10 2000. We're going to head out to Balboa Park and find out if it's going to be raining when the ball drops.
See what leadership can do for you. This is 10 News Nightcast. Now, leadership that connects you to the heart of San Diego. This is 10 News Sunday morning. This is 10 News Midday. Now, leadership that connects you to the heart of San Diego. This is 10 News Live at 6:30. Now, leadership that connects you to the heart of San Diego. This is 10 News Nightcast. You're connected to San Diego's morning news leader. This is 10 News Live at 6 a.m. You're connected to San Diego's late news leader. This is 10 News Live at 11.
The ratings campaign is a very...
You're connected to San Diego's late news leader with Carol LeBeau and Hal Clement. This is 10 News Live at 11.
Hard to believe, but it's been nearly a year.
Now, from the 10 News Communication Center, this is 10 News Live at 5. Now, from the 10 News Communication Center, this is 10 News Live at 6:30.
And you at 6:30.
Now, from the 10 News Communication Center, this is 10 News This Morning.
Now, from the 10 News Communication Center, this is 10 News Live at 5.
A local fire station is doing its part to help the environment and sustain San Diego.
10 News Live at 5 continues with Carol LeBeau and Kimberly Hunt.
A man has just been arrested accused of pointing a red laser light.
Now, from the 10 News Communication Center, this is 10 News at 6.
Now, from the 10 News Communication Center, this is 10 News at 6.
At this hour, rescue teams.
Now on 10.
People doing disgusting things on the streets of Ocean Beach. Why people who live in that area say the culprits are coming from this church. They gave up their cars, now they're out of luck. How some San Diegans are getting the shaft from the Flex Car program. And a missing man is found dead. The mystery that still remains about what happened to Dane Williams.
10 News at 7. starts now.
The search for a man who disappeared from a downtown hotel appears to have come to a tragic end.
Now from the 10 News Communication Center, this is 10 News at 11.
A San Diego man wanted for
Covering major news across San Diego. 10 News This Morning starts now.
Covering major news across San Diego. 10 News This Morning starts now. Covering major news across San Diego. You're watching 10 News Midday.
Major news across San Diego. 10 minutes of non-stop news starts now.
a 9-year-old girl on her way.
Covering major news across San Diego. 10 minutes of non-stop news starts now.
No one wants to pay more, but tonight, why some people in Chula Vista say they're in favor of raising the city's sales tax. On what would have been his 29th birthday, the family and friends of a man gunned down in Logan Heights come together in his memory. The new steps they're taking to bring his killer to justice. And a man is taken into custody in San Diego in connection with a deadly hit-and-run crash near USC.
Covering major news across San Diego. 10 minutes of non-stop news starts now.
Right now on 10 News, meet the man who inspired thousands at Officer Wilson's memorial.
At one point, he looked me in the eye and he told me that's Dan.
Plus, deep inside the latest smuggle tunnel looks like something more from a theme park.
And the 9 local bridges that could collapse in a major earthquake. First tonight, it was a tribute fit for a hero.
Live from San Diego's news source, 10 News starts now. Live from San Diego's news source, this is a 10 News update.
Good.
Live from San Diego's news source, 10 News starts now.
It's
live from San Diego's news source. This is a special edition of 10 News.
Well, up next on this special edition of 10 News.
Live from the Script Studios, this is San Diego's news source, 10 News.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, February 24th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Virginia Shaw.
And I'm Jason Martinez. 10 News is on top of everything new from overnight.
Live from the Script Studios, this is 10 News.
6 a.m. We are showing you the White House South Lawn live, as we've been telling you.
Live from the Script Studios, this is San Diego's news source, 10 News.
Just 90 minutes ago, as 10 News was working another story.
In about 30 minutes, Hillary Clinton will talk after losing the presidential election to Donald Trump. What we know about that speech now.
Protesters upset about Trump blocked the San Diego freeway overnight. One of those protesters now recovering after being hit by a car.
Recreational marijuana now legal here in California. One tool officers may use to enforce the law.
This is 10 News to go. We'll let you know what stories 10 News will be up to date on as far as the election goes.
You're watching 10 News at 4.
2 clusters of coronavirus patients under investigation. New details about the cases in San Diego just released. Plus, absolutely no dining out. How San Diego restaurants are managing the massive loss in business.
With schools closed, it can be a challenge to keep kids learning with everything else that you're juggling.
Right now on 10 News at 11.
A family walking arm in arm to honor their father killed in a senseless act. L.A. County Deputy Joseph Solano shot in the back of the head in a jack-in-the-box. The crimes the suspected shooter is tied to in San Diego.
To be blunt, for Congressman Hunter's part of the trial, this ain't good. It just can't be good.
Congressman Duncan Hunter's wife expected to change her plea. What this could mean for tomorrow's hearing in the congressman's corruption case. Plus, a new homeless shelter or a historical landmark. The new fight brewing in Mission Hills.
Live from the Script Studios, this is 10 News.
A deputy's family having to bury their loved one after a horrific shooting.
10 News begins with breaking news.
ABC 10 News starts right now.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Good Saturday morning to you. It is June 13th. It's so great to be here with you.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
And welcome. So good to have you with us. I'm Jim Patton, and I am joined remotely by my co-anchor Virginia Cha and 10 News meteorologist Megan Perry.
Local Pride organizers say they are reshaping their relationship with law enforcement going forward, the changes they are making and how those will affect future events. Dozens of local faith leaders coming together in San Diego, pushing for reform in law enforcement. And the U.S.'s Midway Museum getting ready to reopen. Some of the big changes in store for people looking to visit our local landmark. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Reopening day for favorite spots and industries around San Diego County.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
In just 1 week, nail salons throughout San Diego County will be cleared to reopen, but they'll have to get approval first.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Firefighters continue their efforts to contain a large brush fire in the East County.
ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Crews are still fanned out around the county tonight dealing with wildfires on another hot day. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Bomb arson detectives are investigating a fire that destroyed a home in El Cajon this afternoon.
ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
We're watching a tense firefight in the East County. This is the Skyline Fire. At least 100 acres have burned. Several homes have been evacuated. It's happening in Lawson Valley, that's east of Hamul.
We heard the calls for reform, and I'm not waiting.
Days after protests calling to defund the police department, Mayor Faulkner says new de-escalation policies are coming soon.
I'm not trying to scare people to stay at home. What I want is for people to wear masks. I want them to do social distancing.
Health experts urging everyone to continue being cautious after they say COVID-19 will pose a significant threat this summer. Help is on the way for businesses to safely test their employees for the coronavirus. The new startup bringing tests to the workplace. Yosemite National Park finally reopening today. The new restrictions to know about before you plan a visit. 6:30, it is Thursday morning. We are almost to Friday, Jim. So good to see you.
10 minutes of non-stop news, only on 10 News.